My favorite drinking buddy. Let's get some meat.
When I was in Cyrodiil, I used to come to the Chapel of Archay every morning and listen to the hymns. I wasn't alone. Hearing that chorus of children gave people the resolve they needed to face the day. But for me, it gave me something else. It gave me something to aspire to. Except right now, I feel neither resolve nor aspiration. I feel nostalgic. You may be right. The white rose is but a memory, but its seed has blossomed into something new. See the girl by the altar? In the past year, she's lost a brother in the war, a cousin to illness, and her grandfather to time. She seems frail, powerless, and yet she continues to move forward with her life, while promising never to forget the ones that she left behind. To think it took all my strength to shoulder such a burden, when for her it seems weightless. Yes, it seems many of the more corrupt lords in this realm have grown frustrated with the Black Sacrament. They've started hiring independent contractors, and whenever the demand for something rises, there has to be a way to connect it with the supply. In this case, it's taken the form of a powerful broker, one who collects and distributes bounties on behalf of the lords. The old man didn't tell you, did he? It was back when I was in Kynesgrove, trying to live up to the name of the Knight of Thorns. As I was wont to do, I got into an argument with the band of sellswords. I poured beer over the head of the leader, all but daring him to kill me. The mercenaries drew their swords, but then the old man walked over, put his arm around my shoulder, and proceeded to drench the both of us in ale. He laughed, and everyone joined him. Then he bought us all around. I thanked him later for saving me from the mercenaries, and that's when he told me,
"I saved you from yourself."
I'd like to say I'm doing this as a favor to him, but perhaps I'm wrong in this regard as well. Your timing is quite auspicious. There is a gathering tonight at Viola Giordano's estate. Rumor has it that our broker will be in attendance. This may be our chance to discover his identity, but it calls for a more subtle approach than brandishing one's sword. Good. We do not want to cause a disruption, given the circumstances. We just need to gather evidence.
Erevan, all these benches and you're the only one who's ever here. I'm beginning to wonder if it's me that's driving them away.
Elasia, any man who finds your voice displeasing has not the capacity to listen.
Will you hear me perform at my aunt's tonight? I'll be disappointed if you say no.
Of course, my lady. It would be rude of me not to.
And you've proven quite incapable of rudeness. Not at all like the lewd, rancorous Knight of Thorns I've been warned about. But I suppose lies never care who tells them, so long as someone is naive enough to listen. And who, may I ask, is your friend?
An accomplished warrior, my lady. I was just about to inquire whether he would attend the party as well.
Oh, you must attend. Anyone who's anyone will be there. Well, it's my aunt's party, so we could be celebrating the butcher for all I know. Although I hope not. That would be in poor taste. In any case, you'd be doing me a favor. There's nothing I dread more than an empty audience. In any event, I need to go rehearse. I'll see you two tonight then.
Until then, my lady. Viola dislikes dark elves, but thanks to Elasia's persistence, she tolerates my presence. Still, we should do our best to remain discreet. Now, as far as the broker is concerned, I've thought of a way we can discover his identity without resorting to theft or violence. Here, this is a correspondence between our broker and Maven Blackbriar. It mentions dates and other information that will rule out some of the attendees as suspects, while casting suspicion on others. When the murders began to rise, the Nightblade and Markarth sent me this letter. Supposedly, he had stolen it from Blackbriar Lodge. Learning his identity is good enough for now. We don't want to expose him until we know if he keeps the city guard in his employ. I do. Yes, people will always have the motivation to do harm to others. Sometimes they're nothing more than passing thoughts. The difference is now there is a means to transform these emotions into violent acts. One that does not require a pact with Sithis. The broker is a weapon. Remove him, and all that's left are the motives. Be sure to study the missive. Hopefully, between the two of us, we'll be able to work out who the broker is.
Ulfric Stormcloak was a true hero of Skyrim. He stood up to the Thalmor and refused to turn his back on Talos. To receive the blessing of Talos, you have only to pray at the altar. I don't care what the Imperials say. When Ulfric Stormcloak died, one of Skyrim's greatest heroes was lost. Now at last, the Thalmor will get their way. The worship of Talos will finally be stamped out. Or so they think. Those true sons and daughters of Skyrim will never cease to worship mighty Talos. If we cannot do so in our temples, we will do so in our hearts. Oblivion, take the Thalmor. I'll never give up Talos, not even if it means my life. Let them come and make me a martyr. Blessings of Archay be upon you. The Stormcloaks are gone, but Talos will never be forgotten. I don't care what the Thalmor say.
Good to have you by my side, friend. I need reliable people around. Problem with orcs, but that stronghold, the southeast, Nasulbur, it's an affront to my people.
What are you doing that for?
Good to see you. Come on in. Yeah? What?
What is it?
Has taken a toll on the
People
merchants of
sometimes
Skyrim.
ask me about my
Let's hope
accent.
that it ends soon for their
Yes,
sake.
I'm an Imperial, but my father's a Nord, and Skyrim's my home, so my voice sometimes gets
I'm not
confused.
sure that it's news, but lately it seems like every blacksmith in Skyrim is out to
He
prove
was
that he's the
3
equal
years
of
younger,
Roland Greymane.
and I practically raised
It's
him.
not really a fair comparison. if you
Sometimes
ask
I
me.
feel like I lost a son.
After all, you're
He
who
was a
works
skald,
the Skyforge.
singing songs
How
of
is any
battle
smith
and
going to
glory to
compete with
motivate
that?
the soldiers, and playing the drums when they marched.
I hope they'll serve
I
the roast
don't
venison
know
with
exactly
vinegar
how
and
he
sauce
died.
that we had at the last party.
But I know he's the reason I
That
play.
was delicious.
But
I know,
I don't
just
sing
what
to
you mean.
glorify war.
Heard
I
anything
want to
interesting
honor the
lately?
fallen and the
Any
mothers who weep
news
for
or
them.
gossip?
And what better
Well,
way
there might
than
be
to sing
nothing
for
to it,
peace?
but I've heard that the feud between the Greymanes and the Battleborns in Whiterun has grown ugly.
Well,
Fralia
I don't know
Greymane is
everyone
convinced that the
here, but
Battleborns have
Bethany has
abducted
a
one of her
weakness for
sons.
Mogul's meat. Rogstad doesn't drink, but just don't insult him and he'll open up eventually. Grenia loves current events. If you told him you were to attack at Kynesgrove, or better yet Helgen, I'm sure he'd swoon.
Let's hope that it ends soon, for their sake.
Yes, I
All
agree
right.
with you. Have you heard any news from the other parts of Skyrim?
A mage, believe it or not. Music was more of a hobby. I spent most of my life preparing to train at the college. Just not the one I ended up at. But I'm still pretty handy with a spell, so don't get on my bad side.
It's been a brutal winter. I can't remember the last
I
time
know
it was
people
this
say
cold
it's
and for this
cold and
long.
lonely, but we look out for each other.
Have you heard any
The
interesting
Dunmer don't
rumors
always
of
think so, but a lot
I
of us
heard
really
those
do
mages
care.
up in Winterhold have been trying to figure out how many dragons there are
My
in
aunt's a
Skyrim.
bit
They
eccentric,
seem
but
to
we
think
get
it's at least a
along.
dozen.
I've just
I'm sure they're
returned from the
exaggerating.
Bard's College, so we've got a
Probably
little
trying
catching
to
up to
scare
do.
us into giving them more money and influence.
But from what I've
so
been
they can
told,
save us
she
from the
loves this
dragon's threat.
butcher business more than an alchemist would consider healthy. Well, that and Captain Lonelygale. I'm just glad they're not one and the same.
I hope they'll serve the roast venison
It's
with
a
bitter
song
green
I wrote
sauce
for my
that we had at
brother.
the last party.
It's called
That was
Gone with the
delicious.
Snow.
Yeah, I agree with you. Have you heard any news from the other parts of Skyrim?
Alright, let me know if you
I
have
heard
any
those
requests.
mages up in Winterhold have been trying to figure out how many dragons there are in Skyrim.
May the
They
gods
seem to
protect
think it's
us,
at least a
and
dozen,
our faith
but I'm sure
reward
they're
us.
exaggerating.
What do you
They're
need?
probably trying to scare
Need
us
something?
into giving them more money and influence so they can save us from the dragon's threat. You want a drink?
Of course. Is there food? Yes. Is there music? Certainly. Are there fine ladies to dance with? Absolutely. Oh, I've chosen to abstain from drinking spirits out of respect for our host. I tend to get violent when I drink. My family made its fortune in exporting lumber. My dad helped me smuggle it to Valenwood during the embargo. The Emperor won't like to hear it, but he doesn't have a right to judge us. Not after he outlawed Talos worship. As far as I'm concerned, we're even. I'm glad you asked. I actually collect antique arrowheads. It all started after I saw the one the ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴆᴇᴆ gave my dad. It's my one passion. Not since the war started. The roads are too dangerous. On the other hand, so's my wife. I'd rather face a dozen bandit hordes than hear her complain that I'll never take her anywhere. I wish I were there now, as cold as it is. My wife would probably send us further north. She wants to go to Radiant Raiment, never mind the fact that her wardrobe is close to bursting.
Good to see you. Finally, someone useful is around.
I am. I missed the last one when I had to travel to Riften on business. I'm there every month. I sell and trade goods from all the holds. I am. I missed the... I don't know about that. I just drink my mead. My husband, though, he likes exotic drinks. Or should I say, my wife. The way he acts, you'd think he's been gelded. I am. I missed the... No, I went with my husband. Although it's hard to tell the difference, given he acts like he's been gelded. In fact, I've been calling him my sickly little housewife since the day we got married. So I suppose that's why everyone thinks I married a woman. I am. I missed the last one. Maybe that's true if you're a criminal, but I just deal with the local stores and merchants. I did. It goes to show we can't rely on the city guard. Sometimes we have to take matters into our own hands. You, I believe, but the Dark Elf, isn't he the Knight of Thorns? I heard he was a drunken lech. I bet he hired you to do the fighting for him and took all the credit. There's people like that, you know. Professional assassins. I did. Well, the two are connected in a way. Dragons put the town in a state of fear, and the bandits come in and take advantage of it. It's just like in business. When the buyer shows weakness, you raise your prices because you know he will pay regardless. I did. It goes to show... Aye, I know what you mean. You do like that Arantino boy did and call the Dark Brotherhood. Of course, I've heard there's other ways, too. You can put a bounty on someone just by giving a price and a name. No religious nonsense required. But that's just between you, me, and the mead.
Yes?
What is it?
Need something?
Alasia the Bard. Not a problem. All right, let me know if you have any requests. What's your pleasure? A good request. A legend we all know and love. Our hero claims the warrior's heart. I tell you, the dragonborn comes. With a voice wielding the power of the ancient Nord art.
Got something to say?
Yes.
The dragon
Good work. Who do you suspect? I understand she spends a lot of time in Riften. She could indeed be our broker. I'll speak to the steward and see if I can learn more. Given my history, I'm a bit tentative about making any accusations until we're sure. In the meantime, I'd like you to follow her once the party's concluded. We can meet back at the corner club when we're finished.
Make it quick!
My money's on the big one.
I am getting out of here.
Hey, watch what you're doing! Someone do something!
Someone do something!
Help! Found you! Murdered! In cold! Murdered!
Someone
in
do
cold
something!
blood.
What happened?
Poor bastard's better off. Help! Someone's being...
There's plenty more where that came from. Just give a holler.
Good work. Who do you
The
suspect?
soldiers all fighting in the war. There's nobody to hunt
I
down the
understand
bandits.
she spends a lot of time in Riften.
Travel has become dangerous.
In the meantime,
speak
I'd
truly.
like you to follow her once the party's
Interesting
concluded.
rumors of late.
We can meet back at the corner.
Well, I did see something interesting not long ago. There were several Khajiit camped outside the walls of Whiterun. Seems they've been traveling around the whole of Skyrim peddling their wares.
I trust you aren't considering any thievery.
Dragons on the loose and a war going on.
This war has taken a toll on the merchants of Skyrim. Let's hope that it ends soon for their sake.
I couldn't agree more. By the way, have you heard any interesting rumors lately?
Have you visited Rorikstead lately? No matter how harsh...
Welcome. Let me know if you want anything.
Even when...
The townsfolk call me captain because I used to be a sailor.
What do you want? It's adequate. Although I was told certain dignitaries would be here, all of whom are conspicuously absent. They should have known better than to trust Viola. At least her niece's singing is pleasant enough. I'm a family friend. I was good friends with Viola's husband, and ever since he passed, I've been even better friends with her. What about you? I haven't seen you around before. How do you know the Giordanos? Right. That whole nonsense with the butcher. The guards are always worthless when it comes to these crimes. I believe that it's always better to hire outside help. Had they put a bounty on the butcher, he would have been caught ages ago. Of course. Who hasn't? Of course. I like to consider myself a connoisseur of politics. I like to know who despises whom and why. If you can predict who will make alliances, you can predict who wins the war. Knowing that helps in everything, from buying a house to choosing a religion. I'm an advisor. I examine business contracts to ensure my clients aren't getting taken advantage of. Other times I'm asked to write up a sufficiently complicated contract to make sure someone does get taken advantage of.
There's a killer on the streets, and Viola Giordano won't.
I support them. All of them. It's like that old Bosma riddle. Now, I'm paraphrasing, but I believe it's something like this. They gathered in the darkness of a moonless mirror, their bodies a dance of fire in the ocean of time. What is war but a reflection of past and future? What is bloodshed but one more dance in the fire to remind us we're truly alive? In the long term, war is a good thing. It builds character, it helps commerce, and it gives us stories to pass down to our children.
Need something?
Got some fresh baked bread and good cheese. Mind you don't get fresh with Susanna. She plays the flirt, but it's just to get good tips.
Poor Nilsine has been wrecked since her sister was killed.
The townsfolk call me captain
Make it quick.
because I used to be a sailor.
Horses, all day long. Do you have any idea how dull horses are?
Good to see you again, friend. Every night, I walk around the Grey Quarter and let them grayskins know what
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. A letter. Not sure who from. He wouldn't say, just that he was a friend of yours. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Watch out, some grace.
Large diagonal cut from left shoulder.
My father says we need to just get on with our lives. It's that easy.
So you've come. This is where we met, if you recall. Of course, I was the corpse then. Now those roles have changed. After all, it's inevitable. Heroes always have their noses in the air, never smelling what lurks underground. You remind me of ᵯᴑᴆ in many ways. Powerful, arrogant, but ultimately a pawn. I am no one's pawn. I defied those Daedric hags. I killed ᵯᴑᴆ. It was my revenge, not theirs. Because to defy a Daedric prince, I believed I had to first clear the board of his pawns. I thought they would use ᵯᴑ's chosen against me, but now I see they wish to use the bearer of my corpse. One final betrayal. Boethia, Methala, and Azura. When I sought to steal their relic, they chose my own pupil as their retribution. But in the end, the boy couldn't kill me. His family of chosen were my sons and daughters, and so, by sending me to exile, he doomed them all. The Darksteel will tell you it was Azura's star, or the ebony mail, or some other dark relic of little consequence. No, it was a sword, a tribute from the Ashlanders who worship these Daedric hags. So why steal it? Well, it was never about the sword. It was about ᵯᴑ's loyalty. Those Ashlanders were his kin, as was I. Think you've won, fool. But I can't be killed. I will return 1,000 times over. These hags can't undo the power of their own magic.
Large diagonal. Large diagonal from left shoulder.
Spare a coin for a poor old woman.
I was on my way to Candlehearth Hall when I saw you walk in here and I got curious. I didn't expect this. Were these men really trying to kill you? I didn't know. Although truth is, my aunt only invited him because she thought he might be a friend of the butcher. Maybe she's not half crazy after all. Only a quarter, but that runs in the family. Oh, I'm sure the city guard will handle it. We'll just tell them what happened, and they'll take care of it.
Large diagonal
Believe me when
cut
I
from
say,
left shoulder.
there are two truths to every story.
Erevan!
I apologize for not arriving sooner. It appears obtaining an audience with the steward is far more difficult when you're a Dunmer. However, it seems your involvement goes deeper than just the broker. So it seems. Moreover, it appears this is no ordinary killer, but an apparition. How does one vanquish what is already dead? Then it would be wise to start with the shrine to the north. Incidentally, were you able to find anything on the broker? Then it was wise for us not to proceed with an arrest. And perhaps my previous experiences were of some help. Thankfully, we avoided embarrassing ourselves and the accused. Moreover, with this journal, we can eliminate Grenier's place of business as well. It appears Robber's refuge is in the opposite direction of Azor's shrine, but hopefully there's time for both.
Hold on, I'm coming too.
Elasia, my dear, while your company is welcome, I assure you the Dragonborn and I can handle this.
Oh, no you don't. You're not going to treat me like your precious little countess. That woman is somewhere in Chedinal. I've got a little more dirt under my fingernails.
All right, but make sure you stay out of harm's way.
See? Now that wasn't so hard, was it? What is it? See? Dennis.
It's good to see you again, Dragon.
What do you need, Guardian?
This is an impressive shrine. Elandir never did it justice. In his writings, he called it a monument to all that is evil. Yet how can something so beautiful be the product of wickedness? Just a traveler, like you, but someone whose life has been influenced by the Dunmer gods in ways she can't begin to comprehend. So you've heard of him. He was a member of an ancient order of Nightblades, up until the moment he decided to betray them. He was a high elf, one of the first children, chosen by the Divines. The Nightblades worshipped Daedra. Some say that was enough. Yet the real reason lies in his writings. He was betrayed by his own heart. Ah, the name of the father. A once proud Nightblade, who was an old and feeble elf by the time Elendil found him. But I believe Daenerys is immortal, and he will rise again and again until the Trinity claim his soul. Alas, I gave most of them to a scholar named Lorne, all save one. I thought if I held on to it, it would protect my ancestor. Now I realize Elendil was a mortal unworthy of such a sacrifice. I once thought as Elendil did, but then I met a Khajiit monk, and he convinced me I may have erred. There are many like him who believe the Daedra are not necessarily evil, and the evidence seems to support that. The Trinity Blade, a Daedric weapon that embodies the will of the old Ashlander Trinity. Moreover, it's said to have an edge that can banish a wayward soul from this plane. I do not know, but I have a feeling it will find its way to the champion who will slay Daenerys. Perhaps that is you, and this journal will lead you to the end. But I should warn you, Elendil believed this quest to be ill-fated, that when you deal with Daedra, all roads are paved in bones. He may have been right. Perhaps if he continued on this path, he may have killed a Dunmer named Gildy, and perhaps I would have never been born. You see, Gildy never loved Elendil, but she loved his child. Daenerys is evil, but there are many evils in this world. Some may even be as beautiful as this shrine.
What is it? Safe journeys.